Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, Gundam Airmaster Burst. So this is one of those mobile suits that I did want to try out. Especially I really wanted to try out the original the previous HG Gundam Airmaster. So once I actually pre-ordered this, I actually went around about 3 to 4 Gundam bases, and apparently it was all sold out. So, and I don't think they did any reissues for this one, or at least in Korea. So, so I was not able to actually review the previous version, nor do I have it, so I cannot show any comparison. So I am sorry for that aspect. Also, yes, a few days ago I asked you guys which one you want to see first, and apparently a lot of you guys wanted the Airmaster and the Dotris. So tomorrow I will be reviewing the Premium Bandai exclusive HG Dotris right away. So yeah, of course, because of this aspect, next week I may not be able to review a Gunpla kit, or depending on my pre-orders arriving or not, my schedule can be entirely different. But anyway, let's see what we got. So first of all, as far as I know, I did check the previous manual for the HG Air Gundam Airmaster, the previous version, on internet. So apparently it has the same overall similar structure, but overall the part designs are different. So despite that, we don't get any leftover pieces. Yes, because pretty much you use everything what you get from the box. And here are the components. Other than the mobile suit itself and multi-purpose trigger finger hands, you get 2 of its, I believe these are called the Buster Rifles, kind of similar to the Gundam Wings weapons, but they work very differently compared to the Wing series. These are pretty much just blasters, if you ask me, but still we get 2 of those for each hand, and we get a sticker sheet. As you can see, I did not use everything. I used only these lines, eyes, and the cameras. This white one is supposed to go onto the chest, but I kind of felt like just coloring it using a Gundam white marker, so a white Gundam marker. So yeah, so let's see what we got. Okay, so overall the kit is very simple build. Of course, there is one problem that I am not liking. Of course, this certain problem can be fixed with a replacement hand, so I'll get into that later. But for now, let's see what we got. So let's start with the head as usual. So the head is looking very great. I remember reading, not on the wiki, but someone actually mentioning to me that the Gundam Airmaster is supposed to be also supposed to have like a cowboy concept. At least the first version, not this version, but the first version where these parts were actually in the front section right over here, so to resemble some sort of a cowboy look. But I'm not too sure about that. But the head overall looks good, and it was also one of those few, how should I say, the Gundam types that had a very interesting V-fin to me. So of course the head doesn't move too much than you think, so the head can go down that much. I wish the camera would autofocus properly, and then up, not well, a little bit much, and then 360 twist. Technically on a ball joint you are able to rotate 360, but with all these parts on the side, it's not going to be easy with my hands. Alright, now let's get the arms. Now you would think these parts on the side are actually connected to the shoulders, but no, these are actually, there is another peg on the main, there is actually another peg on the main body, so this is where you get connected. You connect these parts. So without these parts, of course you are able to move the arms 360, and then of course you also have the forward and backward movement going on there. And then the arms can go about to the side, more than 90 degrees, but this is without the thing. So if you actually try to do it with the thing, it will collide and will get in the way. So just keep that in mind. And these lines on the shoulder, these are new shoulders, and these lines are actually stickers. So you have front and back, so that's 4 in total. I forgot to mention the eyes are obviously a sticker, and then the head camera here, and there's one on the back that is a sticker going on here. And on the arm you have a 360 twist going on here, and then a nice double jointed bend. But because of the transformation aspect, the joints here are going to be a little bit different, and because of that you are able to move it to the back slightly going on and do these kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. And hands are your standard ball jointed hands, and we get a trigger finger for this, no other hands. And you may have noticed there's a hole there, and these are pretty much for the transformation to store in your rifles, but I'll be showing that later. So okay, and then as I mentioned, with this part on here, yeah, 360 twist on the entire rotating the arm is not going to be possible. And just to give you guys an idea, there we go. to show you guys how these works is that, so usually it will be stored in like this, but when you need to transform or you want to bring out the cannons out, first you kind of push this down to the back side, and this will lift up the cannon, and then you rotate the side here like that, and then you rotate the cannon another 90 degrees to the side, and there you go. And the cannons they are not on polycaps, but there is a piece that looks like a polycap but in plastic, so you can move up the cannons up and down slightly and then rotate them around if you want to do so. And the cannons also have these boosters on the back, hence increasing the speed of the mobile suit as well. And when you're trying to transform into the jet mode, you pretty much straighten this section out. So yeah, it's not too bad, and this thing is not very sticker heavy. Of course, I believe the original Airmaster, instead of now the wings got shorter, but I believe the wings were actually longer, and then you would have them constantly on the front, unlike the Airmaster Burst, which is on the side. So I think this would kind of, you know, some people would prefer the original, or some people would prefer the new blue one. So yeah, I think there would be some, you know, taste differences. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, and let's get the body. So now the body is the main body joint connection is on a polycap ball joint. 360 twist should be possible, but of course we have these parts on the back, so while in the mobile suit mode it's not going to be easy. Of course, if you lift this part up now, you won't have any problems, and this is actually more for the transformation, so keep that in mind. Oops, I think I may have went too much. There we go. And then we have this section where you can pop out and reveals a peg hole, and I'll tell you where that goes later. Okay, and then the body, even though on the ball joint there is another movement on the body which can lift up, but this is also more of the transformation, so keep that in mind. And this is technically a parts former because you need to take off the head, and there's one more piece you need to take off and replace it onto a different area. Yeah. And then on the side skirts, you may have noticed there's another peg here. Well, for those who know the Airmaster can hold in its rifle on its side skirts, so that's no problem. Now the front skirts come in a single piece, but you are able to divide them because they are the ball joint connection. So that's what I did. And then the side skirts can move also to the side. Back skirts do not move. You have your standard side swivel going on here, which also allows you to go to the side 90 degrees, forward 90 degrees, back not so much, and then we have a nice bend going on here. Once again, because of the transformation, the joints are pretty good on this one. Of course, they do sometimes get in the weird position, but not too bad as well. And we have a hole for the action base connector, and your feet are pretty much your standard ball jointed feet with another bend gimmick going on here, but this is mostly for the transformation and here as well. Alright, so before I come back with the transform version, I wanted to state out one issue I had. So sorry about that. So it's mostly the rifles. I'm not sure if I should be pointing out the rifles or the hands, because for example, I'm gonna put in the rifle into the hand, and you'll see what I mean. So putting it in is no problem at all, but once you have it there and then you attach it to the arm, it definitely becomes much more visible. It does not hold in tightly, it's very wobbly, and this becomes a very big problem when it comes to posing or just trying to take some good shots. So yeah, this is not the best connection, so I would assume that you would try to get a different hand or try to modify the hand and then make it into a more stable grip. And also there are some more areas that you would need to color, like these vents going on here, especially on those chest vents and these sections here. It would be much more better if you actually color those insides as black, because that's how it was shown in the series. And so not the perfect kit, but once again it's better than nothing if you ask me. I did actually meet a few people, or even online, saying that don't try to get the HD Gundam Airmaster because it's not as great as you think. Now I kind of get an idea what they meant by that with looking at this kit. But for now, I'll be right back with the transformation, because the transformation is a pretty simple thing. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So here is the transformation. The transformation is fairly simple. You just pretty much what you do with most wave riders, simple wave riders such as the jet modes like the wing gunner. You pretty much twist the body the other way around. You flip up the chest Of course, in this case, you do flip up the chest, but you need to take off the head, so which is why we have some leftover pieces here. Even for, so you need to take off the head, hence being a parts former. And this part, which was on the back skirt of the armor, hiding that peg hole. This is actually the usage of that peg hole. It's pretty much for an action-based connector. So yeah. And just wanted to point out something. So another piece that requires to being taken off and then replaced onto another area is that this part here was actually on the chest here, on the top of the chest. You take it off and then you put it on here for some reason. So of course, the way how that works, it doesn't really make any sense. But if they ever actually make a master grade of this, I think that would pretty much explain how this piece comes to here. Other than that, I do actually like this form as well. I'm not a big fan of how they usually transform into jets, but this one I actually like the design. As you can see, now the Buster rifles are on the side of the arm. You don't actually hide the hands in any way, so you just need to straighten them up, and yeah. So yeah, there's not much to show, but once again, I do like the color scheme going on here, and I do like the overall look. And with the Airmaster Burst, one of the differences is that I believe this would have Vulcans on the top here. Now we have a single gun right over here, and then and we have a nice blaster, a big cannon here on the top, on the bottom here. And I believe this weapon was actually present in the old Gundam Capsule Fighter Online, or SD Gundam Capsule Fighter Online, and I actually did use this most of the time to time. And that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, it's not a very special mobile suit. It's a mobile suit that we've always known for a while, and it finally made a kid. But once again, I wouldn't say there's not much of a strong point, but once again, it's better than nothing. I do like the Airmaster Gundam as it is. So yeah, if you're a big fan of the Airmaster Burst, do get it. Of course, there are some areas that does require more painting going on here, as I mentioned, like the chest vents, and then these areas on the legs. They would look much better if you actually colored them in black. So it's not perfect, but there are some areas where you need some improvement, especially the hands. But overall, I say it's an okay kit, and if you always wanted to have an HG Airmaster Burst, definitely try to go get this kit as well. Anyway, thanks for watching the review. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive HD Gundam Airmaster Burst. If you guys got any questions or requests, in the comment below. And tomorrow I'll be reviewing the Dodge, so keep that in mind. Anyway, until then, see you guys next time.